I'm naturally a very happy, optimistic person, and I
Hmm.
really do believe that is the way to go forward. But I definitely got into, I've had hardships and I got really low. And also, if you look at my life from before to now, I mean, it's pretty fucked.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to Brain to Brain. We've got a great episode today. I am joined by Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn and I met over social media. Kaitlyn, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great because we just, had a little bit of a talk before we started recording. I know we haven't met physically, but I feel like we're already pretty good friends with our shared interests.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I truly believe in social media because that is part of the reason I was able to get home. And I believe that's the reason I survived.
And look at this, you're already jumping right into it. I've been so excited to share this conversation with you because your story is remarkable. I mean, it's miraculous how you're still here with us today through the chain of events that you went through. You suffered a severe traumatic brain injury back in 2021, correct?
Yeah,
So tell our listeners what exactly happened. You've been living with this severe TBI for 4 years now.
yeah. Well, I was in Bali, Indonesia, and I don't exactly know what happened. All I know is I was found on the side of the road, unconscious from I was riding a scooter, motorcycle basically, and the guy who found me knew saw I was unconscious, called the ambulance, and then I was transported to the hospital. Unfortunately, because COVID was a big thing, I was turned away from two of the three hospitals. So it wasn't until the last one that I got in.
Okay, we got to pump the brakes. This is insane. First off, a motor vehicle accident in a foreign country, already scary enough. Now you
Yeah.
put that on top of COVID. That's another barrier to get through. And
Hmm.
then you get rejected from two of the three hospitals you were trying to be placed in.
Yeah.
How was that even possible? Did you get any answers? I know you were unconscious then, but did anybody give you answers now?
Yeah, they said that one didn't have the right equipment. One was too full. That's what I have heard.
Oh, good Lord. So put us, again, this is all probably secondhand because you don't remember the transport to the hospital, but like your
Right.
condition when you arrived at the hospital, I'm sure time was really precious in those moments to be turned away twice before you got to the third one. I mean, was there, severe blood loss? Obviously, you had a significant blow to the head, but like, where were we health wise for you? Did you have any broken bones?
So
What did,
no, I didn't have any broken bones. I fractured my arm, and that was it. Oh, and I guess my face was really messed up, the left side of my face, and I actually got plastic surgery.
you
Right.
say that with a giggle. You can't even tell. So, first off, surgeon did a fantastic job. Second, I would have never even noticed. You look great.
Thank you. Yeah, my right side was just how it always has been. And he was like, she's a pretty woman. She is not going to want to wake up this way. It's like, thank you.
Were there fractures in the skull, or what was
I
damaged on
think
your face?
yeah, I broke bones. I couldn't open my eye, apparently.
Hmm.
So yeah, that it was all like broken and stuff on my left side.
Wow. Okay, so we finally get into the hospital, the third hospital.
Yeah.
You're admitted. Walk us through what those first couple of days looked like. Were you intubated? Were you in a coma? What was
Yeah, so
the diagnosis?
I was in a coma. Um, I think I had a feeding tube. I got a trach, as you can see. And so I guess that yeah, they did everything to save my life, and obviously they did okay.
Wow, I'd say so. You look fantastic. How long were you in the coma?
So that depends who you ask. So, what is a coma is
Hmm.
the real question. To me, I think it's when your eyes are closed, you're not moving at all. And basically, my mom thought I was in a coma until rehab because, but I find it hard to think that because my eyes were open, but I was not making any movements or anything. So she said you were still in a coma, but my eyes were open. So to me, that means I wasn't in a coma, but to her, I was in a coma. I guess I was minimally conscious. So I was probably like asleep, eyes closed for a good 3 weeks or something. But
Wow.
she said I was in, um, basically, she thinks I was in a coma for 3 months.
Was your mom with you in Bali?
So no, they had COVID, and so they weren't letting people in, and it took them about a week and a half or so to be able to go in. As soon as they let me go in or them go in, they got medical transportation already sorted for me. So they were like, "Well, we have to be there in quarantine for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
or we just get her back here to a good hospital and where we can actually understand people and get things done." So
How
they
difficult the
let me come
language
back.
barrier.
Yeah,
So just for us to better understand, you were in Bali by yourself.
so I was mostly, I went there with a friend who wanted to start a company with me. So we were going to start it out there, but we were not living together. And so I was alone technically, but I guess I mean I knew some people there and I
Mhm.
had friends, of course. And for the beginning, the first few days, they were at the hospital, and because I had COVID, they had to sleep outside of the hospital and couldn't go in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in Bali, you know a couple friends. When the accident happened, your family's not there though.
right.
Do
Yeah.
you, and I think you touched on this, but I may have missed it. Do you remember anything from the day when you wiped out on the scooter?
I don't at all. I actually don't remember the 2 days before at all. And it was actually right after a silent retreat I had gone on. And that took a long time to get that back. Um, and basically those 2 days in between is what right after what I don't remember and
Mhm.
at all. So
When you, so okay, 2 days before the accident, can't recall anything. Now, accident happens. You're alone in a foreign country. You do have a friend, but they can't come into the hospital. Your family finally gets in around what, like week two?
they didn't get into Bali at all.
Oh, because of COVID.
They weren't allowed to go in at all at first, and then when they finally let them go, they already had the medical evacuation stuff pretty
Okay,
sorted.
I
But we might as
misheard
well
that
do
then.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. I thought you said they couldn't get into the hospital. Wow. So, who notified your parents of your accident?
My friends. And then I think the guy who found me on the side of the road, he he doesn't have Instagram, but he had friends look find me because obviously my wallet and everything was in my bag, so he saw my ID and he had all that information. He contacted, I think it was my sister first, and then my mom heard, and so it was like a big thing. So it
Oh,
wasn't even my
terrifying.
friends who notified them. It was
Uh, oh,
the guy who found me.
strangers.
Yeah.
Oh, do you, this might be tough too. Do you know what was sent to your family members? Like, hey, it's been a horrific accident. They're in a hospital, or was it very brief?
I
Did your,
think they called, to be honest. He called,
wow.
I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't imagine how scary that must have been for your family. In
Yeah.
my accident, they called my mom. They found my phone in the car and they called my mom and she missed the call. Uh,
No.
and then they tried calling. She called back, nobody answered. It went back and forth for a while, but then it wasn't until I was in the hospital they were able. I was in a coma, but they were all they could say is, "Hey, your son's in critical but stable condition." So they had to fly to California with that in the back of their mind. I couldn't imagine your parents being unable to get to the country you're in and knowing you're in this horrific state.
I think no matter what, it's horrific for anybody. And
Wow.
I
Oh
feel
my
like
God.
their mom as
Oh
well.
yeah, heartbreaking, and for your parents too. So they line up a medical evacuation, an airplane. I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah.
They board you up on that plane. Are you conscious at all at this point?
No. I
Okay.
no, and all of that was 2 weeks after I was in Bali.
Wait. What was?
The medical evacuation flight.
Oh,
It
2 weeks after the accident.
yeah, 2 weeks
Gotcha,
after.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you fly to California,
Yes.
still in a coma, essentially.
Yeah.
Where did they take you? Northern California, San Francisco area?
Yeah, and I went into Stanford.
Okay. Great place to get
It's so
treatment.
great. I know. And my sister works there, and so yeah, it's a really good hospital.
It was a family reunion. You had to see your sister.
It's a
That's
good way to put
horrible.
it. I know. Very bad family reunion, but
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so you get there. You're in a coma. There's a little your mom's version, your version. Let's get to your first memory after the accident. Where were you? What was the first thing you remember seeing?
my first time being awake in my mind was actually at my third hospital, and that was in rehab. That was at Valley Medical Center. And that
Still in
was,
still in California?
yeah. So that actually is in San Jose, and it was 5 minutes down the street from my house, which
Oh
is
my
crazy
gosh.
cool. From
Yeah.
my,
Oh, very convenient for them.
yeah,
So you go from Stanford to now you said your third hospital. So then you'd be going straight to this one, correct? Are we counting Bali's hospital as the first one?
yeah. Bali
Okay.
first, then you have Stanford, then you have Valley Med.
And so Valley Med, is that technically inpatient, uh, an inpatient hospital? So like acute recovery.
Yeah, so there is it's an inpatient hospital, but you can also I also did outpatient there. So they
Okay.
have both, of course.
How long were you an inpatient there at that hospital?
2.5 months as well.
Wow. I man, this is crazy because it's again both of well, you ended up in California, but my rehab was also in California where
Oh,
you get I was in LA County. My
wow. Okay.
accident happened in LA, and then I went to Irvine,
I'm
Irvine.
fine, yeah. It's a good area.
Um, but that was one of my. It's very spotty for me. My memories. I have some in the hospital, but a lot were in inpatient rehab, like you just
Mm,
said, where your first memory was.
yeah.
Mine was just how silly it felt for a nurse to be asking me questions about name all the farm animals you can think of. It's like, wait, what? Doesn't like
Whoa.
it's great because
How did you do with that question?
surprisingly well.
Wow, I still don't think I could do it very well.
So okay, so your first memory is at this inpatient facility. What was it? What was that initial memory for you?
So, well, I remember like spotty memories in the very beginning, but I remember one, my sister was talking to me, and I could not remember where I was. I didn't know I was in Bali. I thought
Mm.
I was in Mexico. I just had no idea. Now, of course, I'm like, no, I know I was in Bali. But
Mhm.
she was telling me, you've been in a coma for blah blah amount of time. So you've been asleep, blah blah blah. And I was like, and then my voice was really raspy and bad. And I was like, I'm back.
Those are your first words.
I don't know if they were my first ones, but I remember that. I remember saying, I'm back, but I wish I
Yeah,
had a better voice.
yeah, yeah.
And she
Oh my.
started cracking up. And yeah, it was so cool to see my personality was kind of still there, but I didn't know that at that point.
I was just about to say that. That's one of the things that is sometimes taken away in a brain injury is the personality. And it seems
Yeah,
like you kept it.
I know. Well, apparently it's if you hurt the front of your brain, that can ruin your personality. I
Hmm.
hit the back, so
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah.
I hurt the front of my brain, and some people say I'm funnier now. No, I'm
Hey,
just kidding. Just kidding. They say my personality hasn't really changed at all. So thank God.
well, that's cool.
I
Hey,
just like
you're
to say I'm
funnier.
funnier.
You should just take that and be like, I'm funnier. Use the benefit.
Oh my gosh. When okay, so you're talking to your sister. You say I'm back. Hell yeah, you are back. What did you notice when things are starting to come in perspective to you? Hey, this is different. Maybe, for me it's like I'm slower to process. I should be quicker. Like what kind of challenges have you faced were you facing in those first couple of days and then what you see now these years afterwards? What kind of challenges do you face?
So I was so not good. So I didn't even register that stuff in my mind. So I'm in this hospital, and all I was thinking about, because I had rehab, so it was doing these things to be able to do this XYZ. So walking was a big one. Obviously, first on a walker.
Mm.
And they said I'll probably leave in a wheelchair. And I was in my head, I do remember this. I was like, nope, I'm gonna leave in a walker. And I
Hell
left
yeah.
in a walker. So I feel good
Good
about
for you.
that. But yeah, thank you. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't really in a point where I was thinking, oh, this isn't the same, or I didn't even know. I'm just
Mm,
like, all I was thinking about was what can I do to get better, to
mm.
be able to walk, to be able to, like, such basic shit.
Yeah.
But that's all that mattered at that point. So
Wow.
that's
Okay,
all.
so the basics, right? When you woke up, you were unable to walk.
Yes, barely
And
move. Well, I could move, but not well.
now, was that a result of the brain injury or was that a result of being in a coma for weeks where, you started losing muscle mass?
Probably a lot of that, but
Okay.
also the brain injury, it messed up my walking
Okay.
for sure. But definitely being in a bed for almost 3 months, it's like
Yeah.
not very good. I didn't move at all at that point. So,
Oh my gosh. So the brain injury affected your gait a little bit. Now, is that balance? Is it depth perception? What would you say?
well, I guess it was all of the above. I never had glasses before, actually. So,
Listeners, so don't mean to interrupt. Listeners, she's got some kick-ass glasses on right now. So if you are just listening, flip on the screen. You should see them. She's rocking them. Okay, keep going.
oh, thank you. It took me about 4 pairs to find those ones, so I like them. So thank you. But yeah, I didn't have to wear glasses at all before. So that was a huge thing to need for depth perception and making me be able to see correctly because my vision was wonky and wasn't flat straight. So if I take them off, I don't really notice it that much, but if I'm closer to a face, I can see like a head and then a shadow kind of above it.
Interesting.
I have like double vision technically. Like right now, when I'm looking at you, I can see a shadow of a head like with a hat above you. But
Oh,
then if I
wow.
blink, I'm like, no, that's not real. Then I can go back to just one.
Wow. And then when you put the glasses on like you are right now, it all goes away.
Yeah, then
Fascinating.
yeah,
Okay.
weird.
Yeah. So vision was affected, motor skills were affected with walking. What
Yeah.
else? Was word finding challenging? Was speech challenging?
Yes, speech was a little bit, but honestly, a big one was this
Okay. Yeah.
massive throat surgery.
Surgery.
Yeah, so I got a trach,
Hmm.
and that trach was too big, so it caused a hole in my airway, and that hole in my airway wouldn't let me eat or breathe kind of at the same, not that you do it at the same time, but do both. And it's a hole in it, so it kind of doesn't know what's the right direction to go. So they had to do a surgery to repair that and thank goodness because I can eat again and I love food.
Now, was this oversized trach? Was this inserted in Bali or was this inserted in the US?
In Bali.
Okay. Oh my God. Wow. So I guess doctors weren't aware of that until they had removed it. And then did they send you in for immediate surgery or they started to realize something was off?
No, they didn't do it immediately. The doctor had to get a lot of clearances for everyone to say that they could do the surgery because I was in really critical condition.
Mhm.
Same with my face surgery. A lot of people saying it was okay to do. I think, well,
Mhm.
my face surgery was first, and then I think my throat was second. And I know my mom was saying the reason is that the Valley Med, my rehab hospital, wouldn't take me if I didn't have that kind of, if I didn't have a trach in my neck sorted. And so they went into a big discussion to be like, no, she needs to have this fixed. And they put
Mhm.
their foot down. And what a better place than Stanford? And the head of ENT, he did it.
Amazing. Holy cow. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time? Do you remember what life was like before this was fixed, or was this still when you were kind of in and out of it?
No, I wasn't in my mind awake then.
Okay.
Um, so it was before I left the second hospital.
Okay.
But I did have to deal with a lot of this stuff in my rehab hospital. I couldn't eat or drink the whole time I was in rehab. I was tube fed.
No way. And was this because you were recovering from the surgery?
Partially that, partially my body didn't really know how to do it anymore.
From the brain injury?
I don't know if it was, I'm not sure. I just know that
Wow.
I couldn't do it. And also, when I finally was able to a little bit, food tasted so bad.
That is fascinating.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
cow. So when did you have your first solid meal after the tube was removed, the feeding tube?
So it was a while. I didn't at all when I was in the hospital. It was after the hospital. I got my
Mhm.
feeding tube removed because I was able to eat normal food.
Okay, so
So
this is after the third hospital, after you get discharged. You still have the feeding tube in.
yeah, still got fed that way.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Did you have to go to a speech therapist to relearn how to swallow?
Yeah, actually we hired a speech pathologist to come into the house and to work specifically on that. And yeah, it was a lot of work. There were like throat exercises. And mind, I love exercising, not my throat. That is not fun. I'm like, if I'm gonna exercise my throat, I might as well be eating something good.
Amen, sister. So
So,
what I never experienced any of this, and I'm sure the listeners would be fascinated to hear what that looks like day in and day out with this speech pathologist. So are you starting with like applesauce or simple swallowing techniques? What do they start you with to introduce that?
yeah, so yeah, you start with something soft, but we found out that I couldn't do fast liquids like water and things. So it had to be, yeah, applesauce, things that are a little bit thicker. And then with water, I was able to thicken the liquid with the thickener. And that's how I started to be able to do it.
I can't imagine, and I want our listeners to understand this. So you come, this is Kaitlyn, perfectly happy, healthy, living a life abroad, gets in a scooter accident, is in a coma for weeks, wakes up, goes to her third hospital, right? Med flight from Bali to Northern California. Now she's at her third hospital. She's she's got a feeding tube. She needs an additional surgery on her neck. Now she's discharged. She's learning how to swallow again at the age of 27.
Yeah, I was 27. I turned 28 in the hospital.
What, guys, this is what we learn as kids, right? Like this is, I mean, it's
Yeah.
innate. We already do this as babies, and now your body's rejecting it because of your brain injury. Wow. So you are now awake, quote unquote, right? You're realizing this, you're recognizing that water's difficult to get down unless it's thick. Would you, if it wasn't thick, would you choke? Would you cough? What would it just, your body would refuse it to go down?
It would go the wrong way. So I would be coughing it up. I wouldn't choke, but I would be coughing, coughing, coughing really bad because
Mm,
yeah, it'd go the wrong way and it would feel horrible.
wow. We don't, that's no longer speech therapy. That's like waterboarding. You're being
Yeah, right.
tortured. So I'm sure it's a slow progression. You start putting down that thickened water, that applesauce. Now, did they advance you to like yogurt or cottage cheese, or when did they start giving you harder meals?
Well, yogurt was okay. It was in the beginning because it's thick, obviously, and
Mhm.
it was smooth. Um, I don't, I can say it just was like it was starting with easy. We just slowly got into it and we do I remember eating one of my first meals. It was it was blended up, so it was soft. And it tastes the same, but oh my gosh, it doesn't look great. But it
Wait,
tastes really
wait, what
good.
was the meal? What was the meal?
I think it might
Like
have been
hamburger and
pasta.
fries?
No, not that intense.
Pasta blended up for like a
Yeah,
milkshake. Holy cow.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was curious about. To get that taste you probably love, right? One of your favorite foods, but they have to blend it for you.
But it's crazy because, like I said, food didn't taste good at first.
I don't
And that
understand that.
was no, right? Oh, I hated it. Because I love food.
Yeah.
And I loved because I was a world traveler. So I loved that about traveling the world is trying different food around the world and different cultured. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So this was hard. And yeah, I mean, it was really hard, definitely.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Would you say now you had to relearn how to walk, right? You the talking and now the eating. Would you say the eating, relearning to eat was the hardest part for you of this recovery journey this early on?
Um, that and walking are the two
Okay.
hardest.
Yeah.
They're two things I'm still actually working on
Okay.
because I can eat, which is thank goodness, but I have to eat like the way I have to swallow to the left because when they did my surgery, they took out this muscle on this side
Hmm.
and to be able to fix that hole. So I have to protect that because it's too weak. Um, so I can't
Wow.
swallow like straight necessarily. And
Hmm.
then my walking is I'm still working on it, slowly but surely, but still, my gait is just it's actually it's one of those things you learn when you're young. So it's
Yeah.
really annoying to just still working on. You're like, oh, why can't I get this? And there's no secret answer. And
Mm.
yeah, so yeah,
Do
it's
you,
hard.
do you walk unassisted or do you need assistance when you walk?
No, I walk unassisted. I did have so they wanted me to do a cane, but I was so against it after my
Hmm.
walker. So they convinced me to do walking sticks, kind of what you use on trails.
Hmm.
And I got my favorite colors. So that was really cool. So I'd walk
Awesome.
those sticks, yeah. But then I'm now
Cool.
able to walk on my own.
Man. Okay, so we had the walking, the swallowing. Any other challenges since the accident?
Um, I think just with my life changing, I
Hmm.
definitely I'm naturally a very happy, optimistic person, and I
Hmm.
really do believe that is the way to go forward. But I definitely got into, I've had hardships and I got really low. And also, if you look at my life from before to now, I mean, it's pretty fucked. So I was a full-time traveler and I was starting a company, and then all of a sudden I'm back in my hometown and not walking well, not eating right. And so it's just a huge adjustment.
Hmm.
And
I
I
think,
was I was sad.
yeah, I think that is one of the toughest things during the recovery from a brain injury is a lot of people don't recognize just how significant our lives change
Yeah.
in a second, right?
Mm,
I mean, both of us, motor vehicle accidents, thriving both, in our personal lives, our professional lives, and then it's just like somebody kicks our legs out from underneath us. And for me, I moved back to Texas to live with my mom.
yeah.
I was living alone in California,
Yeah.
and then we're here 6 years, 2019, 6 years after the accident. I'm still trying to put my life back together. Like it's never ending. It's constantly evolving, and picking up those pieces as it sounds like you're still trying to do.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if it's, look, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy too, but I have really, really bad days,
Yeah.
bad moments, and it's just it sucks because our life was taken from us.
Yeah.
And that's why I started this podcast and Toro and Tides, and why you started Beat the Bias, which we'll talk about. But I think it's important for people to understand for a second, just to like put themselves in our shoes.
Yeah. Oh, I
For
wish that
for
on no one though.
well, same, but like for a
But
learning
I
experience,
know.
But for you, how do you get through those tough moments? What, because I know there's going to be listeners who are in similar situations, right? Similar age groups where they're in that dark place. What do you tell them? What helps get you through those moments?
Honestly, for me personally, it's always been staying active. And once I was able to, his dog is Zoe, sorry,
No,
Zoe.
it's okay.
No, but yeah, it was hard to do at first, but now being better, it's being active and doing things. And whether that is going to the gym to be able to, one, keep myself occupied, two, I'm not mad. It's keeping me healthy.
Mhm.
Um, it feels good. It gives the endorphins. It's good. Something as simple as that. It's just nice to be able to put that in your life. So finding something that you can preoccupy yourself with, whether that's needs to be alone, like gym, for me at least it is, or it can be being able to connect with friends or people. Now that was the hardest part about coming back here. One of the hardest parts is I had traveled for 5 years and I was in college for 4 years. So I hadn't been back here in so long, and a lot of my friends and people I knew moved out of the area. So I felt very alone here for at first, and that's where Beat the Bias also kind of was inspired from.
Let's talk about that because I think it's so cool what you're doing. Tell our listeners what Beat the Bias is.
So Beat the Bias is a young adult brain injury support group. It's there to foster relationships with people. It can be for somebody with the injury itself, or it can be for a family member or friend or anybody who's helping the person, a caregiver. So the goal has been to create a positive environment for people who are going through an injury as like this, and to be able to have people understand where you're coming from, support each other, and we do once a month a cool activity. So that gets also a part of it. So you get to like see a different life. You get to make friends because like I said, I felt like I had no friends here. So I was like really wanting to make friends. And I was always told, oh, go to a support group. They'd understand you, blah, blah, blah. And I did, I don't know, I did make two friends who also went through a brain injury. And there was this support group for Stanford. So I invited them to go. So we all went to this support group at Stanford. Great, great to do that. And they were going around the circle, and you talk about what you've been through, everything like that. And the people were so negative and so old. And we're like these three people who are young and don't want our life to end. We're just starting our life, trying to grow, prosper. And when we were walking out, we're like, oh my God, that was so negative. Like, that was not what we're trying to do. And I was like, we were the three most positive people in that room, you guys. And somehow it came together that we decided to start our own group for people who have had a brain injury. And so we can have create positivity in our lives.
Which is important. It's important to stay positive, and it's important to
So
surround yourself with like-minded people, which sounds like Beat the Bias does. Have you seen a good have you seen good feedback from it? How many people are a part of this group? The recurring followers, you get a lot of people on a monthly basis.
we do, but also it's not a group where it's required to go to every event.
Hmm.
So we have really good ones, we have not so great ones, but we have anywhere between like five lowest, which is very low, and then we have up to like 15, 20 people on
Amazing.
the good days. Yeah. And families are welcome to come and they all have their own group that they mingle in. They can
Oh.
share resources and yeah, it's
Now,
a nice
is
place.
this in person or is this over Zoom or video
So
call?
we actually do this all in person. That is,
Ah,
I
okay.
know. Yeah, so everything is in person. And the reason why I really wanted this to be in person, well, was one, I love in-person things. I've always been an in-person person, and especially fostering connections with
Mhm.
people. I think it's so important to be in person. And then we always do some fun activities. So we'll have our meeting be like, I don't know, bocce ball was one. That's one of my favorite. We just have different things that we do in each, and we promote that like strength or whatever in
Mhm.
that group. And
Fostering that community too.
yeah,
Wow. Well,
yeah.
I wish I lived in California still. I'd be showing up to the Beat the Bias meetings.
We need to get
Is
you to
there,
make one in Puerto Rico.
yeah, agreed. Is there, can people find you, Beat the Bias on social media, or would you prefer they go find you on social media? What's the best way to find
No,
that,
so yeah, so we do have our own Instagram, and that is a huge way to find us. So, of course, you can look for beat dot the dot bias. That's our Instagram. And
perfect.
then we have,
We'll
yeah,
attach that to this episode. Go ahead. I interrupted you. What else were you going to say?
no, I keep doing that. I'm sorry. And we, yeah, we post all of our things on there, all our events and things. We also have a WhatsApp group, but that is for if you've come to our group and you want to be a part of it. We just started a caregiver group to be for all of them to be able to talk to each other. And that's positive because obviously they're the ones who support us and who bring us to the
Mhm.
event or get the food or whatever we ask for. So we have them helping us, which is really lovely.
I think it's going to be great for our listeners to go find Beat the Bias because, it's incredibly challenging for us, right, to find that group of like-minded people, kind of like what you've created, that positive mentality. And then, but I think it's also just as important for the caregivers to find that group as well, because caregiver burnout is a real thing, right? Or fatigue. I
Mm.
mean, it's really tough. We live it every day, but then to know somebody you love fighting through that, it's just, I'm sure, just as challenging to witness. So knowing you offer that support for them as well has got to be incredibly significant to them.
I hope so. And I keep hearing that this group is so special to so many of these people because they have their friends and community, and all of the caregivers give resources to each other.
Mm.
Because probably, you always find things that work for you in this place, and everyone finds their own. So you're all like collaborating, and it's really useful.
Hmm. Very
Yeah.
useful. Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing with, well, I mean, you just mentioned it with things to try to help with my migraines and headaches. What
Yeah.
works for other people doesn't work for me, but we're always sharing information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You never know unless you ask, I always say.
Exactly. Caitlin,
Mm.
you had mentioned you do work a full-time job now or part-time?
I do full time.
Amazing. Okay. So you go from this hideous accident, slowly building your life back together, learning to walk, learning to eat again. And now you hold a full-time job. Do you want to share with our audience what you do? And is this where you saw yourself going before or after the accident?
Well, before the accident, I was a full-time tour guide. Well, not full-time, but a tour guide.
Mhm.
And although it does feel full-time when you're doing it, because all you're doing is the tour. But I was starting a business as well when my accident happened because I studied entrepreneurship and I was very passionate about traveling. And my friend who I had met in Greece, she wanted to too. So her and I were working together to build this company. And I did get, so at first, no, nothing I ever would have thought I'd get into. I worked in a retirement home. And at first, I started part-time, and then I really wanted to go full-time because I was at that age where I had to pay for insurance, and I felt bad my mom and dad splitting it to pay for my insurance because it's super expensive. And so I was like, no, I need a full-time job to get off their plate. So I then was able to get a full-time job in retirement, and they had me be an activities assistant. And at first, I really liked it. And then I got transferred to the dementia unit. And so I don't know what it was, but I love those people. They have my heart entirely. I'm so in love with these people. And so the hard thing about leaving that was the people. That was the biggest part. But I was so ready to move forward because I felt stuck, which is not a good feeling, especially coming from being so free, traveling the world. I Night and day difference.
Right.
So then I felt stuck and I didn't know what to do. Some some way I came up with um basically now I am a leasing consultant at
Oh,
an
okay.
apartment complex, but not close to my house, an hour and a half to get there, 5 days a week. But I use the train, so that's
Okay.
useful.
It is useful.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. How are you enjoying it? Do you like it?
I really am liking it. It's so fun. And I love the company I'm working with because, or for, they're a family-owned business. And
Mm,
so they have the heart and love and care that you don't get in like huge corporate company. So I really like that about them.
fantastic. Well, it sounds like, you know, for everything horrific that had happened to you, right now you're in a pretty good place.
I am, finally.
Good. Now, you had to live with your family immediately after the accident. Are you living by yourself now, or are you still with family?
I'm still at my mom's house. If anyone knows that the Bay Area is super expensive,
Yeah,
and
it's disgustingly expensive.
it's disgustingly expensive. So it's kind of most people don't move out very easily here if they want to
Mhm.
stay in the area. And my mom is like my best friend, so I like living with her.
Of course, yeah. There's no better friendship than a friendship with your mom.
No. So I'm
Good.
not trying to get out right now necessarily. So I'm in a
Yeah,
very comfortable place.
exactly. Yeah, and as you should. I mean, yeah, that's you've worked so hard to get to this point. Now, did you I just want to let our listeners know at this point where you are in your recovery, do you think you'd be able to live by yourself?
Yeah, I know I
How's
will.
that? That's a hell of a victory.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
feels good.
holy cow. I think that was the most liberating thing for me is when I got to get like an Airbnb for like a weekend and I was like, "Oh my God, I did it." Like I got to move out for a couple days,
That's cool.
and then like slowly introduce myself to living apart from my mom, but it's
Yeah,
a big leap and I think it's those little victories that we have to hold on to. It's it's so cool. I mean, you laugh, you're like, I mean, we were laughing, an hour and a half away commute to your job, but
yeah,
you get to work a freaking full-time job.
you know,
After everything you went through, I bet 99% of people wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, you're a true fighter and you worked hard in rehab and it shows.
yeah. And I really do believe that something that is so important for us is that I mean, of course, at first you're super tired. You're just sort of like, oh, I can't do it. But there is that time when you force yourself to go out and you're tired, but you keep doing it and you do build up the endurance to be able to do that more. So now, because I've gone through all that do go, 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 and I've gotten tired, I'm now like, I'm good. I'm like going forward.
Hell yes. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
What's next for you? Let's this is always the closing question for me that I have with my guests. What's next? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's the big plan? Do you see yourself continuing supporting people with brain injuries through Beat the Bias? Do you see yourself at this leasing company? What will make you fulfilled in the next 5 years?
So I do want to continue my Beat the Bias because I really see a positive impact it's making. So I do want to keep growing it and going forward with it. And that is definitely my goal for that. I really like my company, and so if I decide to stay with them and everything keeps going really well, I would love to find another apartment company to work at that's a little bit bigger and more energy is needed to work there since I've been training and I've learned it and I'm still learning, but I know as soon as I get really good at it, which I will, because I feel it, that I'll be so happy to be somewhere that's more intense and bigger. And then the goal is to be able to rent from them and get my
Ah,
first apartment.
yeah. Okay. Look at that, a true go-getter. You'll do it.
No, I agree. I know I will.
Absolutely, man. Well,
Question
it's
is
gonna. Yeah.
where?
What? What you think you'll wait? Are you saying leaving California or where in California you would do it?
I don't know. I'm open to either way. Well, my company is mostly on the West Coast. But I could stay closer to home because my mom is awesome and my sister
Mhm.
lives 2 hours up north. So I know that I could stay around this area, but also I'm open to whatever is meant to come my way.
Look at that, and keeping the door open. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And you know what? You might balance it out. You said you love SoCal. If your sister's 2 hours up north, you could probably push 2 to 4 hours south. You could live in Southern California. Look at that. You
We
guys
do
share
have
California.
properties in SoCal, so
There you go.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Caitlin, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
this space with me, for motivating me to continue to work hard in my recovery. Any parting words you'd like to say, or any words of wisdom to people in the thick of it right now with their brain injury journey? What would you like to say to them?
Don't give up and keep going. No matter where you're at, if you're super, super sad, not doing well, keep pushing yourself forward. It will get to a point where it starts to work out for you.
Kaitlyn, you have a fantastic day. Keep kicking butt, and we're going to check in with you. The friendship does not stop here since the podcast is over.
Better
We're going to
not.
stay in contact, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for you.